on paper, I should squash him, but when a guy has their back against the wall, they're fighting like they got nothing to lose. They're a very dangerous person. So I'm treating him just as important, just as serious as if I was fighting Melsick or Shailan.
My next guest is going to be making his UFC debut this Saturday, UFC Vegas 86, taking on Fernie Garcia. It is Hyder Amil joining me here on the program. Hyder, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
No problem. I'm glad we got this done. So for people who don't know, we were supposed to do the interview last week. Your opponent was out. You get a new opponent. When did you find out that Fernie Garcia was in?
I believe this weekend, so probably like 4 or 5 days ago.
Okay.
My first two guys, they pulled out, Shailan, and I was training for him. He's a wrestler. Then Melsick is a Muay Thai guy. Now I got a boxer, so let's fucking send it.
For sure. And a little bit worried at all you wouldn't get to fight on this card just with, all the opponent switch-ups and everything?
I was super worried. I trained 12 weeks for this camp. I was training my ass off. These camps, they're not cheap. I put I sacrificed a lot of work to get to this, it's my pro debut. So, and these two guys were ranked, I believe, number 43, number 48 in the world. So they were ranked really high up there. They fought in the UFC 4 or 5 times. So I was training like I was going to slay a dragon. And then for Melsick to pull out a week before, it had me on like limbo. And I was like, really, bro? And then, time was, day after day. It was like I was checking my phone every like 5 seconds. I was just hoping someone would take. I was ready to fight anyone at that point,
Yeah.
But I did say yes. I did say yes right away to both those guys and to whoever was ever gonna say who wanted to fight me. So I was ready for anything.
Well, yeah. The good news is you got the fight. Were you pretty familiar with Fernie before taking this fight, or was he one of those guys you had to look up?
I didn't know anything about any of these guys. I'm gonna be honest.
Okay.
All these guys were just, I probably should be a little more knowledgeable of who's in the UFC, but I really wasn't until now because I am in the UFC. So now I pay closer attention. But he's coming up from bantamweight, so I didn't think I was ever gonna have to pay attention to any bantamweight guys. But you know what? He's a tough son of a bitch. And, excuse my French.
No, swear away. It's fine. I get your frustration, man. It hasn't been an easy road to get here.
Yeah, but hats off to him for taking the fight. All my respect to him.
Absolutely. So now that you have had a chance to look him up, how do you feel like stylistically you match up against him?
Oh my God, I'm gonna murder him. In the same breath, he, on paper, he's coming off 3 losses, coming up a weight class. He's taking the fight on a week notice. On paper, I should squash him, but when a guy has their back against the wall, they're fighting like they got nothing to lose. They're a very dangerous person. So I'm treating him just as important, just as serious as if I was fighting Melsick or Shailan. So I'm not sleeping on him, not for 1 second.
Tell me a bit about training camp. Who are some of the main guys you got to work with and help you get ready for this fight?
So in the beginning of my camp, I actually sustained an injury, which I will not disclose, but I'm all good now. So it was a rocky start, but I was training my team El Nino. I trained with CSA, Santos guys, NorCal Fighting Lions. I was training with, because I was getting ready for a wrestler, so I was getting some wrestling coaches. We got a wrestling coach, Travis Lee, at El Nino, as well. I'm leaning out, so my memory recalling abilities isn't as good right now, but I train a lot at my gym, Training Center, and CSA gym in Dublin. I also went down to visit Jake over here at Extreme Coutures, getting that wrestling and grappling look, as well as sparring a lot over there. But mostly I've been training with my team.
That's good. So aside from the injury early on, it was a pretty good camp for the most part.
It was very consistent, and I feel this is probably the best I ever felt, honestly. The number one thing I had in this camp, because I had the UFC notoriety, winning the Contender, I was allowed to not work as much. So I was allowed to rest a lot more, which translated to better training. My body felt recovered. I didn't get injured. So I'm very excited for it next because I used to work all the time and train, and not everything is nonstop, 7 days a week. I don't even have a day off, But now that I can relax and rest, it's almost strange to not have that, and to not be worn out physically or mentally from work and stuff. Oh my God, I can't wait to show the world what happened Saturday because I don't think I've ever felt this good, and I don't think I've ever rested this well. I just got to make sure the weight cut goes smooth, and you're gonna see some fireworks. I guarantee that.
That's awesome. What were you doing for work?
I'm a personal trainer.
Oh,
I
cool.
also
Okay.
have a gym in my yeah. I also have a gym in my hometown in Marin County in San Rafael. So I don't run the gym. I just co-own the gym, and I train people out of the gym as well as our students. But that's mainly what I do for work.
Who's going to be in your corner this Saturday for the fight?
I have Gilbert Melendez and my Muay Thai coach BB Etzler.
Excellent. And how's this fight playing out on Saturday? What's your prediction? How do you see it going down?
Um, it ends any way I choose, honestly. Either ground and pound, submission, I might knock him out. I feel like his best chance is to try to catch me. He's a boxer. He does have fast, explosive hands, so you never sleep on a guy like that. And his fighter is back against the wall, so I know he's gonna come in and really fight hard, but fight smart. But I guarantee I'm gonna finish him.
Love it. Is the plan this year to just keep active? You mentioned a bit of a layoff coming into this one. Is the plan to just, try and get maybe 3 fights in this year, that type of thing?
I want at least 3, hopefully 4. I've had some back-to-back fights before. I've had my back-to-back fights at LFA in 2022, where I rattled off all these wins. I actually got into the UFC then, but because I was injured, I had to go to the Contender again once I was recovered from my surgeries and stuff. So hopefully with no injuries, I do 4 fights this year. I would love that. I just want to be active all the time. And just,
And
I want to climb that ladder, baby.
absolutely. And making time for interviews, Hyder. Really appreciate it, man. We're looking forward to the fight on Saturday. It's UFC Vegas 86. If there's anyone you want to thank, any sponsors, any social media you want to mention, I'll give you the last word.
First, I want to thank you for taking the time to interview me. Follow me at hurricane_415, your Bay Area fighter representative. Also the Philippines. I represent the Philippines as well. That's where I'm from, my family and stuff. And then, my gym, El Nino Training Center, Gilbert Melendez, and all the other people affiliated with the Scrap Pack. I owe everything to them. So thank you.